Hi guys, and welcome back to our series on Moses. In our last lesson we were getting to the really exciting part, so I'd like to start by today just going back over that, just checking that you understand the different aspects of the story of Moses so far, and then we're going to continue on throughout the series to look at what happens next. So for today's lesson you are going to need a pen, a pencil, some paper and maybe some colouring pencils. And you might also need access to Google, as this will help you later when we come to doing one of the tasks. So step one is going to be to answer the questions of a quiz. You will need to grab your pen and paper and you're going to number down the side 1 to 20. There's going to be some hard questions and some easy questions, and there's going to be no time limit on this at all. If you need to go back and listen to the questions again, then feel free to pause the question to read it on the screen. You have as long as you need. When we're ready and we've all had a chance to answer the questions, we'll then go back and we'll have a look at the answers together. So without further ado, question 1. About 300 or 400 years after Joseph had moved his family to Egypt, what was the area of land that they settled in called? Question 2. The Egyptians were worried because there were too many Israelites. But what was the rule that Pharaoh introduced? Question 3. What was the name of Moses' mum? Question 4. What was the name of Moses' sister? Question 5. What was the name of Moses' brother? Question 6. Because his mum couldn't hide him anymore, what did she decide to do? Question 7. What did Moses' mum instruct his sister to do? Question 8. Who was it that found the baby in the basket? Question 9. How many other children did Pharaoh's daughter have? Question 10. Moses grew up as an Egyptian, but the Torah tells us that he knew that he was an Israelite. What was it that he was sad to see? Question 11. One day, Moses saw an Egyptian doing something to an Israelite. What was that? Question 12. What did Moses do about it? Question 13. The next day, Moses saw two Israelites fighting. But why did these two frighten Moses? Question 14. What did Moses do after that? Question 15. In the desert, Moses saved some girls at a well from 2 robbers. But whose daughters were they? Question 16. Moses ended up marrying one of them, but what was her name? Question 17. What job did Moses have whilst he was with the Midians? Question 18. One day whilst out in the field, Moses saw something amazing. But what was it? Question 19. What was the name that God called himself? And question 20. What did God ask Moses to go and do? And finally, for the bonus question, this one is worth a couple of marks, but see if you can get both parts. Moses was very afraid, and he didn't want to go and do what God had asked him. He came up with so many excuses, but what were the 2 miracles that God showed Moses to prove that he had amazing power? So we're now going to go through the answers. You can mark your own. If you have a different coloured pen, change to that colour now. We're going to go back through and answer the questions now. The answer for question 1 was Goshen. Question 2. The answer is every newborn boy should be drowned in the River Nile. The answer to question 3 was Jochebed or Yochebed. The answer to question 4 was Miriam. The answer to question 5 was Aaron. The answer to question 6 was that she decided to place him in a basket and put him in the River Nile. The answer to question 7, Jochebed gave instructions to Miriam to watch over Moses in the basket. Question 8. The lady who found Moses was Pharaoh's daughter. The answer to question 9, even though in the Prince of Egypt film that we have seen together, it depicts Moses as having a brother, we know that she had no children of her own. The answer to question 10, Moses did not like how cruel the Egyptians were to the Israelite slaves. The answer to question 11, the thing that upset Moses so much was seeing an Egyptian whipping an older slave. The answer to question 12 was that Moses decided to kill the Egyptian for whipping the older man. The answer to question 13, Moses was frightened by the 2 Israelites because they knew what he had done. The answer to question 14 was that Moses decided to run away. The answer to question 15 is that the girl's father was Jethro. The answer to question 16 was that Moses' wife was called Zipporah. The answer to question 17 was that Moses was a shepherd whilst he was with the Midians. The answer to question 18 was that the amazing thing Moses saw was a burning bush that did not burn up even though it was on fire. The answer to question 19 is that God gave the name Yahweh, or I am the I am. The answer to question 20 was that God wanted Moses to go back to Egypt and to set his people free. And finally, the answers to the bonus questions. These are worth 2 marks each, so you can get possible of 4 for this question. The 2 miracles that God performed for Moses was 1, the staff turned into a snake. And secondly, when Moses removed his hand from his cloak, it was covered in boils and leprosy. but when he put his hand back in his cloak again, it was healed. Right then, how did you do? Give yourself a score out of 20. If you've done better than 18, that's amazing. Give yourself a con. Do you feel confident with the story of Moses up to this point? If you do, that's fantastic. We're going to continue. If no, then why not Google Exodus chapter 1 to 4 and read it again when you have time. For our remaining time, I'd like you to reread the story of the burning bush. You can find that attached in the documents that I've put on Teams. I'd then like you to complete the following 2 tasks. Turn the story that you've just read into a short play script. You can either write this as a one-person show, or you can rope in a member of your family to help. And task number 2. For many years, people have made advertising posters trying to recruit people to do a job for them. I would like you to pretend that you are God, but I'd like you to make a poster advertising the job that you want Moses to go and do. If you want any assistance with this, why not Google some recruitment posters online? You might also like to have a look at Lord Kitchener's poster from World War I, and then again, there are loads of posters recruiting men from World War II. In particular, I'd like your poster to include what the job is you want Moses to go and do, what skills he might need, and 3, I want it to be really creative and colourful. Well, today we've recapped our knowledge on the story of Moses, but we've also explored the job that Moses went to do for God, or Yahweh. If you haven't yet finished your script or your poster, then continue that when you can. But next lesson, we're going to continue the story together and we're going to explore and find out what happened next. Thank you so much for taking part in today's lesson. I'd like you to click the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to press the bell icon so that you know when I put out the next video. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace be with you all. See you later, guys.